Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going out to lunch? I am Kai, Paulie, Deb. Who else have we got? Oh, it just jumped on me already. Meg, how you going? Paul, Uncle, Donald, Michelle, Carl, George, Margot, Shannon, WRX. Kai sent you. Oh, thank you, Kai. And Eyes, how you going? Good to see you all. Okay, let's get into some news. Or opinions and news, really. That's what my channel's all about, really. Opinions and news. And I give my opinion on opinions and news. Okay, Peter Sweden said Italy sends a family from Pakistan to life in prison. The 18-year-old daughter was murdered for refusing demands from her family to enter a forced marriage with her cousin in Pakistan. Italy has sentenced the father, mother and two of her cousins to life in prison. Her uncle also got 22 years in prison. The rulings are now final. Now that's the way to do it. Italy has the right idea. Life in prison for murdering your daughter, for refusing to marry your cousin in Pakistan. Fuck that. Seriously? Wow. Jake, how you going? Good to see you anyway. King David said, seriously, chain armour to protect the sheep from being raped by Pakistanis? Maybe the West needs to rethink its promotion of multiculturalism, at least for the sheep's sake. Deport every Muslim now. Look at this. They have to cover the sheep in this kind of thing. God help those sheep. Seriously? My God. Kevin Sorbo said, okay. This is in response to Breitbart News, who said this person who was speaking, I don't even know what it was, but he was up there speaking. He's running for the Democrats, okay? Transgender main Democrat Senate candidate claims he has monthly period through his rectum. I suggest he go and get that seen to ASAP. Even if you're a female and you start having monthly period through your rectum, I think you should go and get that seen to. That's not good. That's from Breitbart News. And Kevin Sorbo said bleeding out of your butt as a man is not a period. It's not for women either. Let me tell you right now. You've got a problem and you probably need to get it seen to. Lozzie B said, just remember this when you read crime statistics. Okay, you ready for this one? The name is Palo Harak Singh. He's white, apparently. Amardeep Singh, man, white. Amardeep Singh, man, white. Davinder Singh, man, is white. Rajinder Singh Ratty is white. Kuldeep Singh, I can't even pronounce it, is white. Another Singh is white. Another Singh is white. Christopher Badar Singh, white. David Singh is white. Ganesh Singh is white. This is how the media present these people, okay? Gurpreet Singh is white. Heather Ann Singh is white. Karen, far out, Brussels sprout, is white. All these Singhs and Sandhu and Thind, Singh Thind, are all white according to the media. So just remember that when you read the crime statistics. They try and say white man bad. Yep. Sure. Francie Nancy said South Australian police have tasered a Good Samaritan who disarmed a knife-wielding man, and now they're charging the poor guy for hindering police. It's like those UK memes are coming to life right here in Australia. In South Australia, a man disarmed this man with a knife, right? And then the police arrest the man who disarmed the man for interfering in police business. Oh, my God. Like, this is what I mean when how is anybody still asleep right now? When you see things like this, do you not question? Do you not start thinking, what's going on here? Peter Lyndon James said 90 minutes and nobody asked the one question. Okay, this is here in Australia again. We're going to go to America and all over the place shortly. The head of ASIO sat in a box for 90 minutes, right? ASIO is our Australian what is it? International BS, right? ASIO, like the FBI or CIA or whatever, I don't know. Supposed to be looking after Australia, right? The head of ASIO sat in a box for 90 minutes. Nobody asked him what ASIO knew about these two killers that kill people at Bondi. And I just happened to show Albo and the police, the killers. Let that sink in. A royal commission into a massacre. The spy chief is on the stand, and the one question that actually matters, what did you know about these two men, never got asked. The lawyers had the material. They knew the Sun had been investigated back in 2019 and flagged on a watch list in 2022. It was sitting in ASIO's own written submission. They just didn't put it to him. A federal police officer got 37 minutes, asked if anti-Jewish violence was a priority before the attack. He said strategic priority and was ushered off before anyone could ask what he meant. The hearings examining the attack itself held behind closed doors. Eyewitnesses who were there that night ruled out. 5 of the recommendations classified. You're not allowed to read them. This is what accountability looks like when it's designed not to find anything. When the one bloke who knows walks out unquestioned, that's not an oversight, that's the point. Who decided not to ask? Cold hard facts corrected when wrong? What's your thoughts? Peter Lyndon James. And if I was anyone in Australia, I'd be following Peter Lyndon James right now. That he's been spitting out some really great posts. Okay, S says what I feel. I don't want to download the app to pay for parking. I don't want to create an account to see a menu. I don't want to provide feedback on a 30-second interaction. I just want to exist in the physical world without a digital leash. Now, is that too much to ask? I don't think so. But apparently it is. Okay, this person, Tironera, okay, sorry, I can't pronounce the name. I'm not going to butcher it. Charges dropped against Dr. Kirkmore, a hero who handed out vaccine cards administered saline solution instead of the deadly COVID vaccine. He said, I just did the right thing. That's exactly what he did. He put saline solution instead of vaccine into people. And he got locked up for it. Kind of proves the point of there being a bit of an agenda there to get as many people vaccinated as possible, what was in the vaccines. I mean, I know most of us know. I'm just asking for people who don't know. Matt Van Swol said, wow, absolutely beautiful footage has emerged of over 100 Amish men and women singing hymns in the caves of Chimney Rock, North Carolina, after a day of rebuilding homes and businesses. They are still here rebuilding, nearly 2 years after Hurricane Helene. God bless the Amish. Now listen to this. I just had a thought. It kind of sounds like it's a bit echoey and it's in a cave, obviously. But were churches designed also for when people, I don't know if you've ever been to church and sang hymns in church, I have. Are they also designed to create that, I don't know, like a acoustic, the same kind of acoustic that this has? I don't know, I'm asking. They might sound a little culty to you, Kai. I don't believe they are. And they've been helping North Carolina. Is it North Carolina? Yep. For the last 2 years. I don't know. I like the Amish. I actually admire them very, very much. Wish they would adopt me. Joe Rogan Podcast News said Brandon Gill of Somalians are the backbone of Minnesota. Why are nearly 80% of them still on welfare after being here for 10 plus years? Where's the backbone? They're not the backbone of Minnesota. They're trying to break the backbone of Minnesota, but they're not. And this guy, he's been pretty good, actually. Listen to this.
Mr. Balu, again, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, does large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir, could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about... let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare?
I don't know.
The number is 78%. So even after 10 years, 78% of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Again, you're using
non-Somali immigrant-headed households.
If I can just answer the question, when you're using the phrase native Minnesotans, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are as Minnesotan as any of us. They were born in the United States. It's only 8,000 of the 108,000 Somali.
Nevertheless, the welfare usage is astoundingly different. Let me ask you again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here.
This guy here is going on semantics about what he's asking instead of answering the freaking question.
So, again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what
doesn't matter, mate.
Freaking
answer the question.
Working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again.
Okay. Yeah, Brandon Gill, he's excellent. Renee, how you going, Renee? And George, did I say hello to you? Paul, how you going? Okay, yeah, this guy's great. And seriously, they were just going on semantics on the way he was asking the question and the phrases he used rather than answering the question. Not sure if you caught that, but there you go. They set a timeline of events. Albanese gets invited to an Aboriginal gathering. He declines to go due to the man flu and instead goes to a football game where he gets booed and then he exits. Yep. Too sick to go to an Aboriginal gathering, but hey, let's go to the footy. Dear God, can we deport our Prime Minister? I want to deport him to a Muslim country. He loves them so much. Can we just deport him over there? Along with any other prime ministers or presidents that love the Muslims in Western countries. Can we deport them? I would love to do that. Real Roberts said, here it is. This should be on every news outlet with advice from Barack Obama. The DNC plan to overthrow the US government. Top officials of the DNC, including former head Donna Brazil and pizza man John Podesta, discussed how to overthrow the US government if Trump won. The exact phrase was provoke a breakdown on January 6 to disrupt the proceedings to prevent the vote from going through. They even said we already have the assets in place. We already have military assets going to the Penn Walkway entrance. We already have the back channels with Nancy Pelosi and Mark Milley. So we can use this to take down the US government. And they've tagged Mike Benz. Of all of the major DNC apparatchiks, including Donna Brazil, the former head of the DNC, and John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, who was then promoted to a $375 billion slut fund inside the Biden White House, sorry for that word, but that's what it says, planned a simulation about how to overturn the election results if Trump won in, quote, a clear Trump win. As part of that plan, they planned to, I think the exact phrase was, provoke a breakdown on January 6 to disrupt the proceedings to prevent the vote from going through. The addendum to that war game exercise, called Will Trumpism Survive Trump Even If He Loses, clearly laid out a necessity to create a predicate to go after Trump's entire base, to, quote, demobilise them. They won't automatically demobilise on their own. Some legal predicate was deemed necessary to target the entire base. And it gets worse, their ultimate plan? The Biden campaign encouraged Western states, particularly California, but also Oregon and Washington, collectively known as Cascadia, to secede from the Union unless congressional Republicans agreed to a set of structural reforms to fix the democratic system and ensure majority rule. With advice from Barack Obama, the Biden campaign submitted a proposal to give statehood to Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico, divide California into 5 states to more accurately represent its population in the Senate, require Supreme Court justices to retire at 70, eliminate the Electoral College to ensure that the candidate who wins the popular vote becomes president. In other words, they did just that. January 6 was a coordinated sedition against the US government to prevent the actual crimes of November the 3rd, 2020 from being presented. How's that for an overthrow? Disgusting people. Oh, it wasn't a slut fund, it was a slush fund. Whoops. That's what he said. I didn't say it, he did. I was reading. Look, he said slut fund instead of slush fund. Whoops. Anyway. Oh, dear. Okay, Clandestine said, for those who don't understand why China having access to our voter registration data is a big deal, Trump and Q told us in 2020, they told us China was duplicating millions of mail-in ballots in battleground states to steal 2020. Fake polls to validate future fraud, gain access to voter data, duplicate millions of mail-in ballots, deliver mail-in ballots to battleground states in the middle of the night after poll watchers were told to leave. Steal the election, stage January 6 to prevent electors from challenging the stolen election, use January 6 to censor any discourse around the stolen election, all made possible by the release of man-made virus C-19 and MSM fear campaign to push mass mail-in ballots. I'm still going to blame the mainstream media for most of this, because if they told the truth, we wouldn't be in this situation in the first place, would we? None of us, in all of our countries. None of us would be in the situation we are in if the mainstream media just told the truth. You can claim this is all conspiracy theory nonsense if you like, but the reality is both Trump and Q were talking about China interfering in the 2020 election in real time. And given the new declassification, there appears to be some level of truth to it. I think we're headed to the massive revelation that the communist Dems conspired with the CCP to release a virus and duplicate millions of mail-in ballots to overthrow the sitting president of the United States. That would explain why Joe Biden inexplicably garnered 81 million votes and why all the swing states jumped from Trump to Biden after truckloads of mail-in ballots arrived in deep blue counties in all the swing states. The rabbit hole is deep. And Donald J. Trump said, rigged 2020 election, millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our times. This was on the 22nd of June, 2020. This one was on the 22nd of June, 2020. And it has real Donald Trump status, which is this one. Is this about the virus or the election? Do you know what the virus was all about? Can I tell you right now it was about the election? Worldwide. Manipulated polls meant to legitimise rigged election results. The election was not rigged. All the polls demonstrated Biden's clear lead across the country. Example. What happens if China successfully duplicates clone-selected ballots, battleground states? What happens if coordination exists with select states to deliver printing and paper ballot receipts or recipes or secrets to select F adversaries? Nothing to lose. Logical thinking, Q. It's very, very interesting now, isn't it? How do I get back there? That way? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's very interesting, isn't it? And they did say that. Q did say that. Way back when. Anonymous Patriot said it's called Operation Mockingbird. For those who don't know about the mainstream media, look up Operation Mockingbird. And it's no surprise that ABC, NBC and CNN don't want to cover their own crimes. It shows they're accomplices to the cover-up that was shared. Not covering President Trump addressing the nation should alarm all Americans. They could even risk being taken off the air. These networks are propaganda outlets. They parrot all the same things to brainwash the masses. Let's have a little look.
Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is
going to get annoying.
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories that simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Thank God that's over. Do you see it yet? See all the exact same talking points. One of a young girl who's voted for Trump 3 times has asked Trump to reinstate the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama repealed in 2012 or 2013. So it made it legal to propagandise against the American people, which they weren't allowed to do before. So, now they're allowed to. But Trump just reposted that lady, so hopefully he's going to do something about that because they should not be allowed to lie. Real Robert said, and here it is, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, an Obama insider wishing Trump in handcuffs for Christmas, now in charge of Dominion rigging machines. Jim Savage held up his hand, a fairly large V-drive key, and said you can overthrow the United States government with this. Hoops Lee on November the 5th observed Savage into the counting... I observed Savage into the counting centre, and that's when Jim Savage was plugging V-drives into the computer. It flipped Trump votes by 50,000. Whistleblower said Jim Savage held up in his hand a fairly large V-drive key and said this is extremely important. This controls all the votes. This controls how the machine runs this. You can change an election with this. Report, Dominion deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. Data analysis finds 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to Biden. 941,000 Trump votes deleted. States using Dominion voting systems switched 435,000 votes from Trump to Biden. That's crazy. But we know they did that. We watched them do it in real time. Trump was ahead and all of a sudden, oh, look, Biden's just jumped. After they closed it all. Yeah, the 4 a.m. drops, exactly. Yeah, it is a script. Kai? Hang on, was that Kai? Yep. And Paulie said something, I agree, Hev, but was also to see if I could control if they could control public with locking down. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I agree with that. How you going, Marlo? Yeah, it's all propaganda, the whole lot. John F. Kennedy Jr. said, just in a bombshell statement, President Trump drops nuclear-level warning on Iran. We could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. There you go. Yep, he's gonna go. He's gonna go them. Mike Psky, I think that's how you say. Oh, he was replying to Bernie Sanders. Oh, this is such a good comeback. Bernie Sanders said corporate greed is United Health making $5.48 billion profit last quarter, up 60% from last year. Spending $33 billion in stock buybacks since 2022, paying its CEO over $60 million last year while it works to hike premiums by up to 25% next year. Oh, yes, we need Medicare for all. Well, Mike Bisky said, Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's. No, sorry. Let me get this straight because I want to make sure I'm reading your economics homework correctly. And I did not eat a bowl of alphabet soup this morning, so bear with me. You just listed United Health's $5.48 billion quarterly profit as proof of corporate greed. Cute, except that profit happened while the Affordable Care Act, the law that guarantees these insurers a captive subsidised taxpayer-fed customer base, has been the law of the land for 15 years. You are not exposing corporate greed, Senator. You are reading me the receipt for your own bill. The ACA did not shrink the insurance industry. It turned it into a government-guaranteed cash cow. And now you're shocked that cow got fat. Eat soup with a fork, this one. And here is the part that should really sting. Your own party just finished a 43-day shutdown demanding more money be poured into that exact system because the temporary COVID subsidies your party wrote into the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 and the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, 0 Republican votes on either bill, by the way, expired right on schedule exactly as you designed them to. Not a single Republican voted to end those subsidies. You did. Then you shut down the government to admit out loud on the record that a law literally named the Affordable Care Act cannot survive without emergency pandemic cash. That is not an insult from me, that's a confession from you. So now the solution is Medicare for all, naturally, because when a 15-year-old government program made the insurance companies richer, the answer is obviously more government program, just bigger. If ignorance is bliss, you must be the happiest man in Senate. Independent estimates put full single-payer implementation at somewhere between 40 and 60% of the entire federal budget. 40 to 60%, Senator. Larger than Social Security, larger than defence. You want me to hand over half the country's chequebook to the same apparatus that just admitted its last healthcare experiment doesn't work without a subsidy IV drip? Let's talk about who's asking. You've served in the United States government for something like 40 years between the House and Senate, and by my count, the bills you personally got across the finish line as lead sponsor could be counted on one hand, mostly involving the naming of federal buildings. Somewhere out there is a tree tirelessly producing oxygen for you, Senator, and it owes itself an apology for the return on investment. This is also the same man who, as a young idealist, tried out communal living on a hippie commune and did not exactly stick around long enough to collect a pension from it. Now you want the reins to 50% of the national budget. I keep hearing tax the rich out of a man worth several $1 million who charters private jets on his fighting oligarchy tour because, in his own words, he isn't waiting in line at United with the rest of us peasants. Bless your heart, that is rich even by congressional standards. Couldn't pour water out of a boot with instructions on the heel, but sure, hand him the checkbook. And before you tell me capitalism failed and it's finally socialism's turn, how's that working out for your ideological younger brother in New York? So Ram Mamdani just announced a $30 million government grocery store in a city his own comptroller says is worse than broke. Kansas City tried this. Erie, Kansas tried this. That is not a hunch, Senator. That is a lab result, and I'm a science teacher, so let me walk you through the peer review. An experiment only counts as science if it's been replicated, not run once, run again and again under different conditions, different continents, different decades, well, this time we'll do it right. True believers standing at the podium. So let's replicate it together, shall we? Because apparently nobody handed you the lab notes. Trial 1, the USSR, 1920s to 1930s. Stalin seized the farms, collectivized the kulaks, and centrally planned the harvest. Result? The Holodomor, a man-made famine in Ukraine that starved somewhere between 5 and 10 million people to death, while grain was actively being exported past their starving bodies. That is not a rounding error. That is a control group that died. Trial 2, Cuba, 1959 onward. Castro nationalised every business, every farm, every bank on the island. Sugar production, once the envy of the hemisphere, collapsed. The economy shrank 35% in a single decade when the Soviet training wheels came off. Extreme poverty today sits near 80%. Same experiment, same result. Trial 3, Venezuela, sitting on some of the largest oil reserves on the planet, nationalised its oil industry and ran the socialist playbook to the letter. Production collapsed from 3.5 million barrels a day to under 1 million. Hyperinflation peaked past 63,000%. 9 million people fled. You cannot bribe your way out of the results with oil money. We tried, it's in the data. Trial 4, and this one should make every teacher in America wince. China's Great Leap Forward, 1958 to 1962. Mao abolished private farming, herded peasants into communes, melted down their pots and pans for backyard steel that was too low grade to use for anything. Somewhere between 15 and 45 million people starved. Some regions saw cannibalism. That is not a typo. That is what happens when central planners replace the price system with a 5-year plan and a slogan. Trial 5, North Korea, present day, running the same command economy with the I don't know how to say that, twist. Famine in the 1990s killed hundreds of thousands to over 1 million. Markets are technically illegal and thrive anyway in the shadows because human beings will trade even when their government threatens to shoot them for it. Trial 6 is my personal favourite because it's the cleanest natural experiment in the history of economics. East versus West Germany. Same people, same language, same culture, same starting point in 1945. One half got markets, other half got Stasi and collectivised industry. East German productivity settled at roughly 30 to 75% of the West's, and the population had to build a wall to stop its own citizens from swimming, tunnelling and hot air ballooning their way out. Nobody builds a wall to keep people from fleeing prosperity, Senator. Trial 7, Cambodia under the Khmer Rouge Khmer Rouge, 1975 to 1979, they abolished money entirely, no markets, no private property, total state control, straight out of the textbook. You apparently keep on your nightstand. 1.7 to 3 million people, roughly a quarter of the country, died of starvation, overwork and execution in 4 years. And for the extra credit column, Ethiopia's Derg collectivisation, Tanzania's Umana villages, Yugoslavia's market socialism ceiling, Vietnam before it finally abandoned the model, India's decades of licensed Raj stagnation, and Poland and the rest of the Eastern Bloc running factories that burn 3 times the steel per unit of output compared to the free markets next door. Every single trial, same hypothesis, same result. I've seen middle schoolers design better controlled experiments during a volcano science fair. That is not one anecdote, Bernie. That is a stack of peer-reviewed, historically documented, independently verified trials spanning 4 continents and a full century. And the conclusion section reads the same every time. Shortages, queues, corruption and a body count. North of 100 million people once you tally every collectivised farm, every purged kulak and every commune that ran out of rice. If an experiment fails this many times in this many labs, a real scientist stops blaming the equipment and starts questioning the hypothesis. You apparently would rather run trial number 8 on 340 million Americans and call it finally getting it right. Trying to reason with some folks really is like trying to baptise a cat. Quinn's first law of liberalism: liberalism always generates the exact opposite of its stated intent. You want cheaper healthcare, you get record insurer profits. You want affordable food, you get a $30 million failed grocery store. You want to fight the oligarchy, you fly private every single time. Set your watch by it. I keep asking Democrats this question and I never get an answer. What have you actually done to help people versus just handing out someone else's money? Because handouts without a ladder is not compassion, it's a leash. And I think deep down you know that, Senator, or you wouldn't need the private jet to get away from the people you claim to be fighting for. You're about as useful as a screen door in a submarine when it comes to actually running anything. But boy, can you point fingers. You are the human version of period cramps on this topic, Bernie. And I mean that with the utmost respect for a man who spent 40 years discovering new ways to spend money he didn't earn. Has a leak in the think tank if he genuinely believes this is the moment socialism finally works. Unless your name is Google, Senator, you need to stop acting like you know everything about running an economy you have personally never had to run. But what do I know? I'm only a medically retired Army combat medic and a science teacher who actually reads the Congressional Budget Office numbers before I open my mouth about $1 trillion healthcare takeover. Well said, mate. That's Mike Psky. Very, very well said. Have a good one, Paulie. Okay, I just need a drink of my tea before I start reading anymore. Okay, Trust in Trump says, holy shizzles, a trap is set. Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury, but he cannot plead the Fifth because he has immunity from prosecution. He has to tell the truth. If he lies as a private citizen about what he did as president, he will no longer have that immunity, and that is the trap that Obama is potentially facing. The irony is that on January 5th, 2015, Obama presided over a meeting in the White House where the FBI just cleared General Mike Flynn of any wrongdoing, and they schemed in that meeting how they might jam up General Flynn. That's when they came up with the idea to lure him into an interview, catch him in a lie, then prosecute him that way. Barack Obama now is about to face a similar situation. Boomerang. Here comes the boomerang. Tony Saruga said Trump just reported JFK's most terrifying speech and the deep state is panicking. JFK saw it coming in 1961 and now Trump has just made sure 300 million Americans see it too. The speech everyone's talking about was Kennedy's address to the American Newspaper Publishers Association, April 27th, 1961. The CIA had just botched the Bay of Pigs. Kennedy was livid. He'd been lied to by his own intelligence apparatus. And he walked onto that stage and said something no president has dared say since. And I'm going to let him say it. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy. You ready? Are you ready? Where is it?
Communism is so often described as an ideology or a belief that exists somewhere other than in the United States. Let me ask you, sir, just how serious a threat to our national security are these communist subversive activities in the United States today?
Well, I think they're serious. I think it's a matter that we should continue to give great care and attention to. We should support the laws which the United States has passed in order to protect us from those who would destroy us from within. We should sustain the Department of Justice in its efforts and the FBI, and we should be continually alert. I think if the United States is maintaining a strong society here in the United States, I think that we can meet any internal threat. The major threat is external and will continue.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match. Nevertheless, every democracy recognizes the necessary restraints of national security. And the question remains whether those restraints need to be more strictly observed if we are to oppose this kind of attack as well as outright invasion.
That's what's happening now, infiltration instead of invasion. It's happening in the UK, it's happening in Australia, it's happening all over. I mean, therefore I am, said Pure Evil, the husband of the left-wing Canadian woman who assaulted a Trump teen and was later detained by ICE, has posted a series of disturbing videos. In them, he prays for cancers to strike President Trump and his entire family, including the little kids and shit, prays for another assassination attempt against the president, goes on lengthy rants wishing Trump dead, celebrates Trump's reported chronic medical diagnosis. I haven't heard of any chronic medical diagnosis. And recently claimed Americans would celebrate if Trump were to die during the World Cup. So why can't they deport him too? If they're going to deport her, can they send him too? They need to send these people to an island on their own, honestly. Let them run their own little government the way they think it's going to, I don't think it's going to turn out the way they think. Gunther Eagleman said US strikes back hard, Iran getting degraded. Victoria Coates breaks it down. Iran's capabilities are collapsing from over 100 missiles a day to less than 10. They're lashing out but losing control. US hitting strategic targets to protect shipping and bases. Huge diplomatic wins. Iraq PM inking big energy deals with American companies. The Lebanese PM heading to DC for the first time in nearly 20 years. Opportunity to finally defang Hezbollah as Syria blocks Iranian arms. Meanwhile, the radical left in Congress and on campuses push anti-Israel hate, indoctrinating young people. President Trump is delivering strong retaliation, real alliances and America first pressure on Iran. Go Trump. Commentary of Donald J. Trump's Truth Social. The people of Aberdeen in Scotland are dancing on the streets because the new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has stated that he'll be opening up all the way the invaluable North Sea oil. Really? It is one of the greatest sources of quality oil on earth, has hundreds of years of capacity left, with much not even found yet, and will make the United Kingdom, will make the United Kingdom from a poverty-stricken disaster to one of the richest countries anywhere in the world. Britain pays Norway's billions of dollars a year to buy its oil, which they get from a less valuable part of the North Sea. How ridiculous is that? Also, word is that the UK is going to move the old and horrible-looking windmills which loom over and destroy the city of Aberdeen That'll be a big day for the country and very much appreciated by everyone. Such great potential in the UK, but it all starts with opening North Sea oil. We love you, Scotland, President Donald J. Trump. And Trump is, his heritage is Scottish. There you go. But the new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has stated he'll be opening up the invaluable North Sea oil? Really? I thought he was a bad dude. I don't know. Maybe Trump's got him, got something over on him. Bridget Fertig said, never forget President Trump retweeted this Iran-Clinton-Obama story before getting banned from Twitter. Iran harboured known CIA asset Osama bin Laden with the knowledge of top US officials, including Hillary Clinton, via a secret deal. For those who don't know, Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset. Iran blackmailed the Obama administration, threatening to expose the fake killing of Osama bin Laden unless the Obama administration paid them $152 billion. Audio evidence confirms $2 billion in cash was funneled back to the US politicians to keep them quiet. Told you it all ends up back in their pockets somehow. Well, not all of it, but some of it. We'll hold off killing Osama until the time is right to use him as a trophy. A congressman admitted on tape, revealing bin Laden's survival was a political pawn used to get Barack Obama elected for a second term. SEAL Team 6, aware they killed the decoy double, became a liability for Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration. The helicopter of SEAL Team 6 was shot down months later, killing 38. No rescue was called. The administration left them to die. Documents also tie the Clinton and John McCain foundations to Middle Eastern terrorism, implicating a web of corruption funding terrorists to start proxy wars. The deep state buried this truth. CBS News even blocked a 2010 story to protect Obama. The American people deserve the truth about the heroes left to die, betrayed, and the elites who profited. Treason doesn't pay well in the end, and they're about to find out. Documenting Libs said, you moved to Korea for a fresh start because you can't stand being in America under Trump, and then leave just after 1 week because you hated the job after 4 days. She didn't hesitate, quit on the spot, and dipped the same day in a pink suitcase like, I'm good. The confidence is crazy. It amazes me how many people buy into this leftist lie that everything's better somewhere else. Watch this.
Come with me to leave Korea after 1 week because after 4 days of working, I did not like it. And I quit and left the same day.
She doesn't tell you why she doesn't like it. Did they make you work hard or I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know. I've got no idea. Okay, Documenting Libs again said this video shows exactly what's happening in England right now and the warning for America is unmistakable. A man walks through a public square that looks like a war zone, trash everywhere. Then he interviews multiple Muslims who say it openly. The takeover is soon. It's coming. Grocery stores, streets, entire public spaces overrun. He quotes President Trump saying parts of Europe are already unrecognisable. Then it gets darker. Islamic social media posts bragging that Westerners will become their slaves. Another man in the video says it plain. Our own tolerance is what's letting this ideology creep in and take root. This isn't immigration. This isn't diversity. This is demographic and cultural conquest happening in real time while leaders look the other way and call anyone who notices it a bigot. We are watching the same pattern try to establish itself here. Secure the border, enforce the law, stop importing the problem. America doesn't have to become unrecognisable too. Like this, seriously. This is terrible.
I've actually never seen anything like this. I mean...
It feels as though Islam is taking over the West. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are. Inshallah, soon. Inshallah, soon. All world will become Muslim. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll blow it out your ass.
As we've taken over the country, officially, England's over. Allah Akbar. Yeah, what are we lining up for? This is historical. This is
London. This is how many mosques are around me.
This is what the sign looks like when you get off the train here.
What
These
the
are the
fuck?
advertisements you see. This is what it looks like when kids get out of school. This is what the political candidates look like. This is what it's like walking through the grocery store here.
Jesus.
The UK has become unrecognizable.
The rise of Islam, radical Islam. They're very vocal on social media about their desire to take over America.
America will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house, inshallah.
If they refuse,
not on my watch it won't.
We have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take because you refuse.
When I'm seeing a tolerance for that ideology creeping into America, and that if we don't wake up right now, sound the alarm, your children and mine are not going to recognize the United States we're living in right now. We're in trouble, Ryan. We're in trouble, and we need to hold the line as long as we can. Right? I just think we have too many people who are afraid to talk about this and to sound the alarm. But not on my watch. I will not be silent about this.
Exactly. Not on my watch. I'm not going to be silent about it. In fact, hand me a machine gun. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I don't have much life left. Oh, mate. Jeez. I'm not going to do anything. I wouldn't be silly enough to do that. Okay, Wall Street Ape said, whoa, investigative journalist Catherine Herridge reviewed the documents just released by the Trump administration on election integrity and finds CIA emails showing they were working against... That was already done? No. Working against Trump to aid China and the Democrats in the 2020 election. I've been digging into the documents already, and I found this November 2020 email, and it specifically states it's a conversation amongst intelligence officials. It specifically states that they have, quote, deliberately massaged one of our pending PDBs, that the president's daily brief, to avoid any direct links to the election. This was a massive effort, what they call a multi-domain operation. That it means trade, it means diplomacy, it means open source information, it means social media. So all the levers of power China had to influence the US election. And our own CIA worked to make sure the president wasn't aware of any of this information. They literally removed it from his daily briefing. Literally treason. In the summer of 2020, as we headed into the election in the intelligence community, there were indicators of this Chinese influence operation. Influence operations means that you're trying to affect the outcome of how people vote or their sentiment about a presidential candidate. It's different than an interference operation, which is penetrating voting rolls and voter systems. And this whistleblower was raising the alarm about the influence operation, and then suddenly it was all suppressed. In some of their reports, there were in officials' own handwriting that they wanted everything out that could help President Trump in his re-election. So there was clear evidence of political and personal bias. They wanted to remove everything that could possibly help Trump win the re-election. Again, literally treason. Also, if you remember a while back, a former CIA officer named Pedro Israel Orta, who worked at the CIA during the Trump administration, said CIA didn't even recognize him as the president. They wouldn't even put his picture up on the wall, which was customary for all presidents, because they were actively working against him. Who said they were going to break the CIA up into 1,000 pieces? Or 1,000,000 pieces? Was that JFK? Packing Patriot, which I wish I was. Never forget the only time CNN showed a Trump speech live was when he was in Butler, Pennsylvania and got shot in the head. Just throwing it out there. And why was that the only one they did? Because they knew. Because they knew. Bo Loudon said in 2008 Donald Trump sheltered Jennifer Hudson rent-free after several of her family members were murdered in their Chicago home. Just now, Trump watched Jennifer perform the national anthem at the 2026 World Cup final. God bless Trump. And he didn't clap, apparently.
When that tragic incident...
But you know what? I don't know. I like when people sing their national anthem normally. I don't like when they put their own spin on it and make it go woo when it shouldn't go woo, right? You're trying to sing along with your national anthem. No one needs to be guessing which woo-woo you're going to do, right? Sing it like it normally is. I hate when people do this. Maybe that's why he didn't. You just couldn't see him. He was behind plexiglass and you couldn't actually see whether he applauded or not. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Hey, you don't have to agree with me, but I don't like people who sing national anthems and start going woo, woo, woo all over the place. I like it to sound like the national anthem. It's not one to make your own, you know what I mean? It's not a song to make it. Just do it with someone else's song, but don't do it with your national anthem. I really have a pet peeve about people doing that with the national anthems. The White House said President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump watch on as this incredible FIFA World Cup tournament concludes on American soil. There you go. He's saluting. Okay. Pro-America Politics said, ready for this. The evidence CBS presents to fact-check Trump is that Communist China denies it. I'm not kidding. And they conveniently have a pre-written denial from China ready to go. Oh, is anyone surprised? So not only did they not broadcast Trump's speech, but they were actively collaborating with the CCP beforehand. Enemy of the people. So they said, what are they, hang on.
He seems to be alleging there that China actively tried to undermine him and even referenced wanted to get him to resign at one point. Ahead of this, I did reach out to Chinese officials who were already prepared with a pre-buttal here. He seems to be alleging.
I'm sure they were prepared with a pre-buttal, and I'm sure you really reached out to them and didn't have that going yourself. Okay, now this one. This is the one from yesterday. A Vigilant Fox said RFK Jr. reveals what HHS found when they went looking for the 375,000 migrant kids Biden lost. It's a huge, huge tragedy. One guy pretended to be the parent of 42 children. We have no idea what happened to those kids. We're now finding them. We found about 137,000 of them, but a lot of them you just can't find. There was about 60 kids who were sent to one address. When we looked at that address, it was a container, a steel container in the middle of a parking lot. A lot of them were sent to work at slaughterhouses and picking fruits in the fields. They were slaves. So we stopped that. Now everybody who comes in has to validate the relationship. We DNA test them to make sure that they're related to that child. Nobody gets a child unless we know what that child's parent, that is the child's parent or relative. It's a huge, huge tragedy. My agency under Biden was the single biggest child trafficker in the world. There you go. And there's a video. Can I share that? Hang on. Copy that link and put it in there in case anyone wants to watch the whole video. I'll put it in there for you. There we go. And I believe that might be, is that it for today? Yes, I think it is. Hang on. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Okay, let's go to the comments and then I'm going to go. Okay, I hope Alex is doing all right. She's working out there. Good on her. I'm proud of her. Out to lunch said, here, you know what you call a person who doesn't like to fart in public? No, I don't know. Is the answer there somewhere? Out to lunch? A private tutor. Nice one. And Paulie said, sorry didn't hang around last live, but I hit the notification for this one. Be well, my down under friend. Thank you very much. You too, Paulie. Out to lunch said, I know you didn't like it yet. Hit like, okay? Yeah, hit the like button, everyone. How you going, Meg? Paul, morning campers. Uncle said, how you going? Donald said, hi, everyone. Michelle said, hi, Hev from Manuka, New Zealand. I'm not missing out this time. God love you. Carl said, yo, hello, Heaven, everyone. How you going? George and Margot and Shannon and Kai sent you, WRX. Is that like WRX Impreza? George said, hi, Shannon, Margot, WRX and King Jesus. Shannon said, Windows. Jake said, it's late here in England, so don't know if I'll be up long, but hi, heaven all. How you going, Jake? Good to see you as always. Everyone seeing how each other is. Sending love and prayers for everyone from Nisi. How you going, Nisi? Kai said, I brought a friend. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate that. Shannon said, something Wong. Jake said, world gone foobar. I'm Kai said, you know, guys, air guns come in 50 calibre now. Just saying. Donald said he should keep his arsehole closed and he might not have that issue. Yeah, probably having too much rear end action might do that to you. I don't know. Not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Kai said, just stick your finger in a wall socket, I say. Kai said, I'll have to. Little culty sounding there. But you love them? Yeah, no, I love them too. The Amish people, they're very good. Out to lunch with you was helping, but they will say fraud or something like that and probably get a class action lawsuit from Bluehead freaks mad they not get clot shot. Probably. Kai said, but they aren't singers. No, they're not. They're just normal people. But it still sounds pretty good. Renee said, hi all, Brandon Gill is from Texas, my home state. This man's a gem, spits out facts. Yes, he does. I've been watching quite a bit of him on Twitter. And he's very good. Oh, he's got a few good ones in there. Uncle said, I want to offer counselling for the S-age sheep. Yeah. Leslie said, Albo told he wasn't welcome. There you go. And Leslie, how you going? And Donald said, I think it's the same fund. Jake said, anybody watch England-France last night? Score for a long time was 4-5, then ended 4-6. Only thing I saw with score was 1945, then 1946, end of war. Hey, going, Marlo? Paulie said, I agree, Hev, but I was also to see if it could control the public with locking down. Yes, they were. See how much control they could have over people. Yep, Kai, a test. Kai said, soft launch, refine formula, try again. Oh, they're trying all right. I don't know if you've seen, like, Ebola here, something there, I don't know there, something chicken flu, bird flu in a whale. A whale's got bird flu. I wonder how that one works. But anyway, hey, they're trying. They're trying their hardest and nothing's working. Kai said, I saw this almost a decade ago. It's about time more people saw that. I wish everyone would just open their eyes and have a really good look at what's going on around them. It's pretty easy. I don't know. I've been awake for a long time. My patience is running out. Kai said, it's a script. Paul said, 4 a.m. drops. Yes. Cassandra, how you going? Marlo said, our news from mainstream is all propaganda. It is everywhere. Susan said, man, dummy meat needs to be charged with treason. They all do. Paulie said, Marlo, that's why I stopped watching mainstream. Kai said, propaganda and control measures. That's what they are. And now they're up to their necks in it, right? So they're not going to say anything. They're not going to report on it because they're up to their necks in it as well now, mainstream media. Marlo said, I too have given up with mainstream. Renee's here. Susan said, very interesting about the 1945, 1946 numbers. Susan said that was to Jake. Kai said, here's a spoiler, subtract 2 billion from the current world population. That's how many people they're about to kill. Kai said, that's 5.7 billion, gotta go. George said there will be still be 6.3 billion left if 2 billion are killed. Kai said 83 billion minus 5.7, leaving 2.6 billion in the ashes. I'm still here mostly. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get their way unless the majority of them are, I don't know, in our country is not supposed to be, you know. I don't know. George said, okay, Kai. Jake said, Susan, I thought so. Paulie said, have up early in the morning, have a wonderful week. Good on you, Paulie, for checking in. I'm glad to see you. Kai said, and those asylums are for the decenters that survive. I don't think so. I think a lot of it's been changed, Kai. I believe a lot of it's been undone already. Kai said, last time the parents of the children of the orphan trains went in them. Leslie said, history of communism not taught anymore. This is the real socialist agenda. Yep. Kai said, I know thinning us out is on the upcoming agenda. Kai said, this time, attack, not our fault. Kai said, and of course, you got to go shooting up a bunch to get their germs too. Oh, don't go shooting up a bunch of anyone. Aliens. Cue the X-Files theme. No, I'm kidding. Cliff said they can't find Obama. The military CID intelligence call him the most evasive man on the planet. And Michelle's sitting in 6.10 at Gitmo. Kai said, or maybe they decided to hit us with a big-ass rock for the Kuiper Belt. Renee said, Cliff, he has nowhere to hide. Kai said, Obama's on the run. Man on the run. Kai said, I bet guys that resemble Obama are getting checked over. Cliff said, apparently Obama does have somewhere to hide because they still haven't found him. Kai said, so true. Leslie said, Obama was in Australia not long ago. The mooch doing talks. Nobody saw them leave. He's probably still here, hiding. Kai said he probably got a boat and a load of body doubles paid to distract too. Renee said Elon's Starlink can't find him. Kai said that chip was the first thing dug out. George says, I don't believe a word Andy Burnham says. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he does. Jake said, President Trump, we salute you. Kai said, the third possibly is a fake alien attack, then the actual aliens step in and snap our shit in line. George said, Andy Burnham said he was going to scrap digital ID. I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe he's a plant for the good side. I don't know. I'm not judging yet. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I like to do that because I don't trust any of them. Cassandra said, hi, George. Apologies. I'm just listening. Kai said, I'm like that little curl Trump gets on his face. I like that little curl Trump gets on his face when asked about aliens. Yeah, a little smirk. Jake said, Burnham helped shut down grooming gangs inquiry. Kai said, that's an instant question for him. Shannon said, Koreans hate blacks and not afraid to voice their opinions. Really? Cliff said, no, McCain was executed on National Dog Day. The Q Post told us that this was going to happen months ahead of time. Future proves past. Leslie said, as predicted, World War III with Islam. Kai said, pretty. It's barely started to begin. George said, if Islam does take over the UK, there will be civil war. Kai said, that's the idea. Cliff said, Islam can only take over a country that has no right to bear arms. I know. Aren't we sad? We're very sad. George said, Islam needs removing from the West. Renee said, I think the Islamic forget that the American people have guns. I think they forgot that little part. And we will defend our homeland. We won't die on our knees. Yep. I think all Australians should go out and get their gun licence, to be honest. I know they say you can't defend yourself with it. I'm not saying a word. You know what I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm thinking. Kai said they invaded with an invite. Kai said, I agree. Cliff said, damn right, Renee, I'm locked and loaded. Renee said, same here, baby. Kai said, patiently waiting for the first shot. Cliff said, I'm going to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind. JFK, there you go. See? Kai said, my predicament is in about 24 hours, my seizure medication is gone. I'm toast. Oh, no. Well, make sure you're stocked up with your seizure medication, Kai. My first few days have to count. George said, England needs a new national anthem. Kai said, numbers, high numbers. Cassandra said, as a singer, I can't stand over interpretation of songs either. I just want to, when I hear a national anthem, I want to hear it the way everyone's going to sing it. Because you know the audience is going to try and join in. And if you're going, the audience, you know, they're not going to keep up with that. I want to sing along. Oh. Donald said, but you can with a Star Spangled Banner. Yeah, what happened to Oh, say, can you see? Just normal, by the door. I'm not good at it, obviously. I'm not good at singing, but hey, I try. But just, the normal way. I don't want to hear, oh, say, can you see? I don't want to hear that. I want to hear it normally. Sorry about that, guys. I probably blew your ears up and blew your windows out at the same time. Okay, guys said, when I know I'm done one way or the other, I'm taking a few with me. Oh, Leslie said, saw a story in UK gun being delivered to hotels holding asylum seekers. Hotel manager opened boxes delivered to them. Oh, nice. Jake said, don't fall for the divide and conquer. That's what they want. Hold the line. Yeah, we just got to hold the line. That's pretty much it. We know this is going to be sorted. Don't worry. Cliff said, many of those poor children were murdered for adrenochrome harvesting. Kai said, divide. We do that ourselves. Renee said, amen, Jake. Kai said, everything from breakfast cereal to shoes. Renee said, MSM never shows all the good Trump has done for other people. It's tragic because he's a good man. Well, he is. He bought a lady, he paid a lady's house off, man. He's done a lot of stuff for a lot of people. He helped someone get an operation. He paid for it. Like, yeah, it was Taser singing, wasn't it, Kai? That was really bad. But yeah, they never show what he's done good. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Good to see ya. Kai said, Renee, it's going to come out for better or worse. We'll learn another version of the truth. Michelle said, I'm amazed at all the people who still believe the BS. Thanks. Again, great listen. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Cliff said, Leslie, I read that same story about a year ago and the guns for so-called asylum seekers, a.k.a. invaders. Randy said, was writing my new to me 96 BMW. Nice. George said, I'm okay. Thanks, Michelle. How are you? Everyone's saying, how you going? Cliff said, in America, the Amish people are very respected. Yes. I like the Amish people. As far as I'm aware, they are the closest people living to God. Like the people who would connect most, I believe. Kai said, my BMW is a smart car. Randy said, R850R. Renee said, you're right, Kai, but Trump is trying to wake up the normies. Yes, he is. Kai said, I want to stick what is it? Hayabusa in it? What? I don't know what you're talking about there. Michelle said, George, getting bamboozled by data centres, nice to know. It's a force, wake up for some. Randy said, Trump seized Carney's assets. Good. Kai said, just drop it in their laps. Renee said, I have family members still asleep. I wish they'd wake up. I don't know how people can't look at the news these days and think, what's wrong here? I don't know. I constantly do it now. I used to do it back in 2008. I nearly threw my TV out the window because I knew they were lying. And I really wanted to throw that TV out the window. It was a bit big to pick up, a bit heavy, Didn't have one of those small screen ones yet, I had a big heavy TV, so I couldn't exactly do that, but I felt like it. And I don't know how anyone can look at the TV now and believe everything they're told. It's just insane. Kai said, soon you will see stories about cures for cancer based on individual DNA. Kai said, all manner of crazy stuff. I can't wait. Michelle said, remember the post regarding decreased population of a lot of countries? Aussie was 15 million. New Zealand was 2.5 million. Bring in the planes. Yeah, I remember that was the, I can't remember what it's called. But I remember that, and I think a lot of it is rehoming a lot of immigrants. I think it's turned on them. And it's not going to be killing, it's going to be rehoming the immigrants back to their own countries. Because if you look in the Muslim countries, they were growing while the rest of us were dropping, right? The Deagle, whatever it's called, that Deagle thing. And I really do. I really think they may have planned on killing a lot of us, but I think this thing's turned on them. And I think now it's going to be more deportation. That's why we're going to lose a lot of population. And I've got my fingers crossed. Okay, Renee said, you'll take care. Have you're wonderful. Thanks for sharing this with us. Take care. Yep, I'll see you next week, guys. Kai said, in Canada, our beloved northern neighbour has suicide pods. I know. That's crazy. We've got voluntary euthanasia here in Australia as well. The maid thing. Kai said, sweet dreams, Renee. Kai said, I accidentally shot the intruder 9 times. Randy said, oh, Canada sucks now. So does Australia really badly. Kai said, taser singing. Randy said, sing some more. Out to lunch said, if you have a firearm and someone breaks in, make it look like they committed suicide. Canada, I think that would work, and probably Australia too. No, because recently in Australia, someone did defend themselves with a gun and they were not charged. Okay? Just letting you know that. Go and get your gun license, guys. I'm telling you. Just go and get it, right? Just go target practice. Go to the range where you're supposed to go 3 or 4 times a year. That's what you got to do if you've got a gun in Australia. You got to go and practice and learn the safety. Make sure you learn the safety before you actually have a gun in your hand. I'd recommend that highly. Yeah, because a lot of people still believe in mainstream media. So, yes, I would recommend safety first for a lot of people. Most people with common sense pretty much know you do not point a gun at someone, whether it's loaded or unloaded. There are a lot of safety things, that you have to, even I'd have to brush up. But I knew them back when I was like 8, 9, 10. Jeez. Okay. Michelle said, lols, can't stand when a national anthem is blared out like last week's constipated turd. Yes, exactly. I don't want a singer to make the national anthem their own. It's not their own, okay? It is for everybody to sing along. I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine, I think. Out to lunch said, here in northwest Mississippi, we have to pull them into the house. Cliff said, you can even buy bacon-stuffed hollow point bullets in the US as the stupid Muslims are chanting, hello, snack bar, we can fill their asses with bacon. Oh, dear. Just throw the bacon at them and get your dog to chase the bacon. So, make sure the bacon lands on them. Kai said there's only about 3, maybe 4 tempos for the anthem. Kai said, got to have the pulse. Out to lunch said they sell Muslim meat in Aldi. Oh, God. Kai said Hayabusa is a giant motorcycle engine. Oh, okay. Randy said Guy bike talk. Okay, thank you. No wonder I didn't understand what the hell you were talking about. Out to lunch said, I believe what you're telling us, Hev. Thank you. Out to lunch. Donald said, I've not had any TV since 1996. Woke up a long time ago. Good on you, Donald. Randy said, no TV or air conditioning. Kai said, Randy, it's flat stupid. You should look it up. Smart car engine swap. Sherry said, hey, almost missed you again. Oh, Sherry. Oh, Sherry. Randy said, yeah, saw Bussa in a smart car. Cliff said, 1, out to lunch. We have a different law when it comes to invaders. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. Oh, you guys are lucky in the US. You got the First and Second Amendments, mate. Oh, what I would give for a First and Second Amendment right now. Oh, I already used the First Amendment? Even though I don't have one here in Australia, but I'm still using it. I will not shut up. They're going to have to delete me again to shut me up. Kai said, also saw a guy dropped a V8 in a small lawn tractor. Oh, wow, I want one. Randy said, V8 wood chipper. Kai said, America's about to need those. Michelle said, biting bacon and picking up a dog. Randy said, love you all. And with that, guys, I'm going to go. And I will see you at the end of the week on which day? My Saturday, your Friday? Yeah, I'll try and call in before then, but I'm not going to make any promises because normally I can't keep it. So, okay, until then, guys, I hope you have a good one. Much love from me and stay safe. Okay, guys. Bye. Shit, that's loud.